Okay, now we're going to start putting some paint on the body. I start off by spraying the underside, getting the wheel wells and all the edges. I'm using Tamiya bright red from a can because it lays beautifully. I think these paints can give you as good a finish as an airbrush. I mean, it's amazing, and the quality of the paint is just fantastic. It's a beautiful high gloss finish, as you'll see as we go along here. And this is just the first light coat. I'm not even trying for full coverage here, just putting some color on the body. So hang out with me while I do some more painting. Alright, now that that's done with our beautiful color on here now, we're going to set that aside and let it cure completely, and we're going to get started on our wheels. These are the wheels from the Knight Rider kit Pontiac Trans Am, which just happened to fit this kit beautifully. We're going to be painting them the gray color of the wheels that were available on the 86 and 87 GTs, but those are the wheels that Greg happens to have on his car, so that's what we're replicating. And we're going to start that just by airbrushing them with a little bit of gray paint. We're back on with the wheels, guys, and we're going to talk a little bit about black washing and using panel liner to give you a much more realistic appearance. These are the 3 wheels which I've completed, or just about completed. They're almost done. And this is one that I haven't done yet. Let's make sure we're all in focus here so you guys can see everything. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so here you can see the difference between one that's been blackwashed and one that hasn't. The blackwashing actually brings out all of the spokes on the wheel and makes them stand out more as you're darkening all the recesses between the spokes. So it gives it a much more realistic appearance. We're going to go ahead and do that now. I've done it on plenty of my videos. Don't know if it, in case you guys haven't seen it, we're just going to demonstrate it now. So you guys can see how it literally transforms the part you're working on, no matter what it is that you're doing. And basically all you're going to do is go in and touch the part. And the capillary action is going to carry the panel line paint right into the part that you're doing. You can already see how it's transforming the wheel and giving you a much more realistic look of it. I love the Tamiya panel line wash, as it really does a great job of just flowing to all of the low points. leaving the high points exposed. And it's really very, very easy to use. Now, the thing you have to be careful of is what you use it on, as I have found that it will eat through some paints. And then we're also going to run a little bit around the lug nuts just to add the shadows where shadows would normally be, and giving it a much more realistic appearance. Now you may have to do a few coats in order to get it to darken in on the larger areas. As you really wanted to fill in those recesses. And it dries matte, so it won't reflect light and really does give you the appearance of shadows. And it will end up drying lighter than what you're expecting, or than what you're seeing on the initial application. So you're going to have to go back and check it and make sure that it's filling in everywhere you want. Okay. So now you can see here the initial application of the panel line wash. And now you can see all the spokes stand out a lot more. So we're going to let that dry. And then we're going to move on to painting the lower trim on the body. The 85 Fiero GT had the lower body cladding, which was actually a metallic gray on all of the lower body panels. So I have the entire body masked off. Did all of that off camera because, I mean, come on, who really wants to watch that? And I'm going to try to use my XF56 metallic gray, as I think it would make a pretty good color match for what's on the real car. So we're going to go and we're going to paint that, and hopefully it matches to what the look we're looking for. Okay guys, here we have the first few parts that have been painted. As you can see, the metallic gray came out fantastic on this rear bumper. The masking held up really nice. As long as you burnish your tape down, you shouldn't have any problem with it. And then I airbrushed the metallic gray onto the bottom of the panels of each individual panel one by one. And as you can see here, they all came out well. If it focuses, you can see how good that gray looks on the bottom. And it wound up being an incredibly close match to the original color. I'm very happy with the way it came out, and the fact that I was able to get them to airbrush on nice and smooth. Now we're going to get ready to unwrap the body of the car, and hopefully it all comes out as good as the other parts, as I think I laid the tape perfectly and there shouldn't be any bleed through. Beautiful. Came out exactly the way I wanted, even better than the first time I did this. Now, we are not concerned with this here, as this is going to be covered by the quarter panel piece that goes in there. But I think right now we are, not about we, but I am very happy with the way this turned out. Now, we're going to have to let this sit a couple days, as this was done with the Tamiya acrylic metallic gray. And I've noticed that when you're airbrushing the Tamiya acrylics, even when you use a lacquer thinner to thin the paint out, it still takes a few days for the paint to fully harden. It's probably from the acrylic nature of the Tamiya paints. But a little tiny, dry enough to the touch. Got a little tiny nick there. We'll have to touch that up before we clear coat this whole thing. But you see how fragile it is. I must have nicked it while taking the paint off, and now it's got a tiny little nick there. You can't even see it here, but I see it, so I am not going to leave that way. So I'm going to give it a little touch up and blend all of that in. And then we will be ready for wet sanding the body and giving it, well, no, still not even anywhere near that. We still have a lot of detail work to do, such as the window, although that should probably be done afterwards because that stuff is flat. So I think we will be wet sanding and getting ready for a clear coat, and then we're going to come back and do the rest of the detail on the body. So, you got it, guys. It's now got its two-tone paint job. Very happy with the way that's turning out.